Thank you for joining us today for Network Like a Pro. This is our very first in our professional series. We will be looking for other people to do speaking engagements, so please hit us up or send in our links from our website. We can also show you that too, if you would like to do a speaking engagement for us. The reason that I developed this is my background's in nursing, and we have plenty of education topics and CEUs, we call them, for nurses and social workers. So I can attend many things across the country. I don't feel like there's a place for professionals that are CEOs, that are salespeople, that are executives, or in administrative type roles that have an opportunity for this. So we're going to talk about what is networking. It's the process of interacting with others to exchange and develop professional social contacts. Basically, it's talking to people. That's all it is. And when I hire and train different people, and actually I'm hiring somebody right now and we're going out very early in the journey and I'm teaching her how to network, I just tell her it's just going up and having conversations with people. I'm going to move this little screen in the middle of my thing here. So senior care is my jam. That's my healthcare platform where I'm doing all my networking. Some of you on here might not be in healthcare, which is totally fine. I am going to give a lot of probably examples more in healthcare because that's what I do. The reason I have the voice on there, I met with somebody recently, Caitlin, who talks about branding and having your own signature thing. While I don't have a microphone in my hand right now, because you guys can all hear me on Zoom, that's my signature because I also own a karaoke company. So I'm going to leave this up here so you can look, make sure you're looking to see which generation you are, because this has a lot to do with how we network and how we interact with other people, which I think is brilliant. There are 4 different generations in the workplace right now. One of my favorite things to do is learn the lingo. And I have a Gen Z right now that works for me here in Arizona, and I'm picking up on her lingo and I'm using it with my millennial niece who's visiting Arizona right now. And while you're looking at that, I'll tell you a little bit about Elderwerks. So Elderwerks is all senior care. We are a not-for-profit that helps people with any type of resource they need. We get about 15,000 inquiries on our website a month. And our main focus, the way that we thrive, is through helping people move into senior housing. But we also do a lot more than that. We help people with restricted income. We do all different types of educational things for seniors in our Palatine Center. So if you need, when we get into our networking groups, which we're going to do near the end, I have this timer on for myself right now for 36 minutes so that we can break out and network after this. So you looked at your generational groups. I'm a Gen Xer and I'm right in the middle. I'm 1970 and I can tell you I'm very much a Gen Xer when we talk about the networking. I'll let you look at that for a minute too. Another reason I started talking about doing this professional series is my husband hears me on Zoom all the time networking, right? So I do a lot of the business development for care navigators, care guardians, and Elderworks. And then once I meet with someone, I usually send it off to one of our sales team. Lately, because we're so seasoned, I'm just sending the contacts off right away. And he said, Gene, I've never heard anybody network like you. I'm like, well, I didn't have any training in this. My background's in nursing. So the generational differences, we're going to get into it in each slide too. The Z's are very mission driven. They like things fast paced and they like feedback loops. And I've got Kristen on here. She's a Z. Does that sound about right, Kristen?
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. And we'll get to the slide on Z's. You can tell me if it sounds pretty accurate. And then our millennial group, they like autonomy. developing themselves in social recognition. I know the millennials get a bad rap for wanting some validation. I think it's wonderful. I'm a Gen Xer. We got no validation. We did not get our parents saying you're doing a good job. So I'd like to believe the millennials probably have a great sense of self because they have received a lot of recognition for what they do. And I think it's important. Gen X, we were the latchkey kids, and I talk about we because I'm one of them. Although I live with my grandparents, so I don't really fit in every little piece of Gen X. But we're very independent. We're juggling our own parents right now. A lot of us. Mine happen to be deceased, but a lot of us, if you're a Gen X on here, you're probably dealing with your parents. You've got a career, you've got your kids, you're busy. We tend to be the ones that are like this, skeptics, a little bit skeptical. And I'll tell you, I am. Boomers, they like mentorship opportunities. I noticed, like, I have a lot of boomers I've had on multiple teams that I've been on for many years. They definitely like to meet with people and partner and develop relationships. So when you're working with boomers, they tend to like, which is fine. They have meetings to talk about things and maybe 2 or 3 meetings to figure things out. So here's our Gen Zs. They are our tech savvy people. Thank you to the Gen Zs. So I lean on the Gen Zs and millennials a lot. I'm not going to tell you I'm the most tech savvy person. I do like tech. I am trying to learn as much as I can. I really enjoy the social platforms, but when I need to get something done, I make the phone call to the Zs or the millennials who are younger and were raised with all of this. So a response to them when you're networking could be, I'd love to hear how you're approaching your career in this space. I really enjoy the way you share insights on, example, senior care. Now, it says here to meet them at a hackathon. Now, I meant to look that up before I did this. I did not. So if somebody on here knows what a hackathon is, feel free to speak up. Krista, do you know what it is? I don't.
No, I'm gonna do a nice Google real quick.
Okay, good. They like to speed network, which we're going to get to do at the end here. And they like interactions, they like workshops, and they like social impact gathering. In other words, they want to be part of something bigger than them. They want to make sure that they're looking at the world and making it a safer place. Like, what can we do socially to impact our world? If you want to follow up with a Z that you meet, and you will meet them, and we have some on here. I know Chris, I believe, is a Z also that's on our call right now. So the Z's, if you want to follow up, probably LinkedIn would be good, a direct message or a voice memo. I did look up the voice memo. It's basically just recording a little message to someone. I don't do that very often, probably because I'm an X. Our millennials, they like authenticity. If you want to meet up with them, coffee is a good idea or a virtual meeting. Now, I'm an X. I rather have the virtual meeting. I can get more done quicker. But of course, we're going to get to the X and the boomers, but we do like in person too. Millennials like Instagram, networking in general. Networking, they're natural networkers. I heard Kristen say one time that you're taught that constantly in college now as Zs. That's networking is everything, meeting people, talking to people. So if you're working with a millennial networker, you might want to say, I'd love to brainstorm or collaborate on this idea. I really admire how you're balancing your career with all of your other projects that you're passionate about. This group of people likes to meet people at happy hour, volunteer networking, career development workshops. And you could follow up with them on LinkedIn, an upbeat text. They do like to text. I like to text too, or engage on social media. Now, if anybody wants to jump in, you could take yourself off mute if you're a Z or a millennial so far and tell me if you identify with this.
I would say it's absolutely true. When it comes to social media, we all kind of have different things. Like my mom loves Facebook. Facebook, I honestly didn't really use much until working here at Elderworks. So I think it's really interesting that the things I might be more familiar with when it comes to Z, especially with technology and everything like that. I'm kind of using the basics of what I know, but then I'm trying to match the different generations' way of using it. So, obviously we're reaching out to more seniors, caregivers, and families. That's going to be more LinkedIn, Facebook. But then, if we're going for the older adult children or grandchildren, that would be more like Instagram, TikTok, in my opinion. So it's interesting seeing the different ways that people collaborate and whether it's virtual or in person. And I'm kind of molding myself to be able to do all of them to reach all those different, levels of people and professions and all that stuff.
Yeah. And that's from our Z. So Gen X networkers, like we said, we're juggling a bunch of people and careers and kids. We like efficiency. I will tell you that is how I am. I always tell people, let's find a way to do this better, faster, smarter. Probably people are annoyed with me saying that, but we all work really hard. Let's work smart. That's how I am. But with networking, oh my goodness, I could get on a call with somebody and in within 40 minutes, I feel like we're friends. We're just going through so many fun things. I love it. So I could be on networking forever with people. Obviously, respectful of time, it's usually 30 minutes or an hour. Um, so a Gen Xer, if you're going to work with them, you might say, hey, can I borrow 20 minutes for your perspective? What's the biggest lesson you've learned navigating career transitions? So we like to teach, at least I do. We like to be down to earth and kind of, some people might see us a little too direct and curt because we're to the point. But we want to figure out a way to do things better and share that with people. I will tell you as a Gen Xer, I'm the Facebook person. I really like Facebook. I have worked really hard. We'll get to our LinkedIn slide to do a lot with LinkedIn in the last year. And I will tell you right now, we are looking for someone who will do a social media education for us. And however you want to put it together, we would love that. If you're going to get a hold of us, LinkedIn or email, a lot of Gen Xers would probably say a phone call too. I know that I like to be scheduled if I can be, but if it's urgent, trust me in what I do with care management. There are things that come up that are urgent in hospitals and rehabs, et cetera, where the family wants to talk to me right away. So, but I do like being scheduled. So I like email and I do like LinkedIn a lot. Then we have our boomer networkers. This is our group that really enjoys being in person. They like going to a professional dinner. They enjoy having a phone call. A lot of them, of course, are using social media. Like we're using not social media, but Zoom right now, a platform to talk on. I know that a lot of them have adopted that. If we have a boomer on here, feel free to take yourself off mute and tell me after I read these few lines. They may say, I'd love to learn from your career journey, or you're telling them, I'd like to learn from you. What advice would you give to someone starting out? Boomers really do like to educate and mold. They have a lot of experience, right? They're the generation after me, and we work with them a lot. And they like one of them on our I'm not going to say a name, but one of them that is in our group, I learned so much about senior housing from that I didn't know. It's amazing. They like to meet at conferences and meetings. What I'm noticing with conferences from being on a few boards is you still get the group of people that want to be at a conference, but a lot of people really enjoy this virtual education. I'm talking from nurses and social workers, of course. With boomers, if you meet with them, you might want to send them a thank you email or a handwritten note. I think handwritten notes can go a long way, actually. Is anybody a boomer on here that's willing to say what they enjoy doing with networking?
Hey, it's
Hi,
Barbara.
Gene. It's Linda.
Oh, there we go.
Hi, Linda.
Hey, Linda. It's Barb Rosenberg too. So go ahead, Linda. That's awesome.
Yeah, Gene and I have talked a little bit. We never did get to meet about this particular topic, but I'm a little bit outside the box of the normal boomer because I love technology, so I use all of it. I kind of feel like I'm a melding of all the different age groups, but again, I'm a little different. But I also have found, and you'd be surprised, that other age groups like the handwritten notes as well. I have, even for my office staff that is so supportive, I send handwritten birthday cards. And who has thanked me the most? The younger generation, because they say, Wow, I never get anything in the mail or handwritten. So I think we have to sometimes reach out and surprise people. So that would be, and yes, I like all forms, whether it's online or others. But yes, I'm trying to find out the niche for social workers and nurses as well. So yeah, I'm a little different. I utilize Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever just about is needed.
That's, Linda, you make a really good point. It's Barbara Rosenberg from Elderworks, and I'm driving everyone. So, you make a great point because I think that us as baby boomers have been really catapulted and forced into learning other platforms. When you're really out there and developing your business and looking for clients, we've all really needed to learn. It's been a necessity, and so all the fields of personal notes and those connections, and then being a mentor. I think that
Yes,
people
I
look to
love
us.
doing that.
Yeah. I think people look to all of us. We're at these events with, late 20s and 30s and 40s, a lot of younger people. And I love the point of learning their language. But so that's very true. And the other thing I just want to point out for baby boomers, with regards to communication, all of the voice texting and these kinds of things, we're seeing too many spelling errors. We're seeing spelling errors in emails, spelling errors on texts. It does not professional. And if that's going to your network in terms of networking, it doesn't look well for you. So I would just
Yes,
have to say, with all of that technology, which I don't use, please proof your stuff.
yes.
Everyone, that's good. We've got like 20 minutes left, and then we're gonna jump into breakout sessions so that we can do some networking too. So that was amazing. Thank you, Barbara. By the way, we did, and we're still doing that. We have interviewed some of the people that are in Chicagoland that are great networkers. And one of them was Barbara Rosenberg. Linda, you and I still need to connect on that. We also did an interview with Pete Miska, with Colleen Morley, and with Caitlin Penny. You don't know her. She's in Arizona, and she's the branding expert. She's really cool. She's the one that she told me I should be wearing microphones always. I haven't done it yet. So I need to do that. Like, have your signature thing. She's the hat lady. Everybody recognizes her from that. Linda Kanicki, you said something about nurses and social workers. I'm just going to say, I believe, especially when it comes to events and that, being a nurse, being really busy, I like the virtual. Maybe some other nurses on here could tell you something different, but what I'm noticing with conferences, even setting those up across the country for different groups that I'm in, we're not getting the attendance we used to. But if you get great speakers, that sometimes brings people in. So the empathetic networker, that is me. I am very much an empath. I have learned how to refocus my energy so I don't take in everything. But we're really good at understanding people. And not all nurses, I have a little nurse thing down there, but if all nurses are empaths, but I definitely am. When I'm in a meeting with someone, one of the most important things to me, honestly, I swear, is to help other people. How do I help them find leads? How do I help them find other people they can talk to? Is there a way I can refer to them? Can I have them come in as a speaker? Not every single person you meet with, it's in one of our slides, am I going to be able to give a referral to in senior care? But if I can, I want to. We try to be as empathetic people, and not everyone is on here. And if anybody has questions about empaths, let me know. We tend to be active listeners. I am guilty of talking a little too much, but I do hear. But I get excited when I'm talking to people with ideas and things. And how do I help you with your business? But we tend to be active listeners, and we could hear things when we're meeting with people they might not be saying. We're authentic. And this isn't just empathetic networkers. This is just something I noticed. So now we're going to get into, I just have a bunch of slides of tips. So these are the tips I have when you're working with other people out there, when you're talking or conversating, meeting people. Really important to have a high emotional EQ, or IQ. So it's important to listen and validate people. don't jump on a call ready to sell. Like, get on the call with people or in person, or your email, wherever you're meeting somebody at to begin your conversations. Make sure that you're showing the emotional side of you, that you understand what they're going through, who they are, listening to them, their humanity. There's actually, I have a presentation on this, and you can actually learn it. There are people who are not highly emotional. Oh, we have somebody coming in right now. I'm going to admit them. I just went through my first slide. I'll jump back to it later. But emotional IQ is basically can be learned, and it is being there and being present and hearing people and validating their feelings. And that is important when you're networking. Overcome objections. One of the things I do that's now covered was private pay. I welcome objections. I welcome them. Like, well, the family can't afford that. Well, maybe they can if they just need 2 or 3 hours of basically some validation, some tools, some tips, some education. They don't have to be 20 hours a month or something, but I'm going to help them save money and save them time and save them life. So it's okay. I ask people when I see in their face that they either maybe don't understand what I'm saying, I come up with a story or an example, or maybe they don't, it looks like I don't usually get this, but maybe they don't trust. They've been burned. Families I get that with for sure. They've been burned and churned by the system, and they're frustrated and overwhelmed. So I do get that, and I have to make them feel safe. The way I make people feel safe, I get on eye level with them. I talk, I have open body language, right? And I let them do the talking and validate them. Be open to hear gossip. I'm not saying gossip. It's one of my least favorite things in healthcare. People talk a lot. I've seen it when I'm out and about. Don't listen to it. You can hear it. Please let it go in here and out there, because why are people gossiping? Why are they saying things? Now, if you have your 1 or 2 people that you trust out there in healthcare. I have my few people that I can ask questions to. I would never go and go, did you hear blah, 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 blah. But I might say, I had this interaction. I need to process this with you. Have you heard something? Did I maybe say something wrong? Don't use gossip is a terrible thing. It's just, but you can hear people, maybe they need to vent. They do it with me a lot, and I don't mind it. They vent to me. People I don't even know come up and tell me lots of things. I just listen, and I'm not going to hear it. I'm hearing it, but I'm not listening and taking it in, because it's not effective for us in healthcare. And what are we supposed to be exemplifying? Trust and love and care in healthcare. I have that there. Find a couple people you could talk to or vent to. Don't do it with everyone. Trust me, the word travels around everywhere. Ask open-ended questions. So we're going to ask some open-ended questions at the end of this. Make sure you're asking people about themselves. I noticed, like, you get on the call and you're like, hey, I love that in the background. You've got a picture frame with this, that, and the other, a beautiful vase on it. Tell me about that. Or being a nurse, I'm in people's houses, right? And they seem nervous, like, oh, a nurse is coming in. So I'll say, oh, show me who these people are in this picture. I love this. Is this you, when you were 25? And then you bring people down and they start talking to you and calming down. Always show up with curiosity to learn more about yourself, more about the other people. And every time you leave something, there's times where I'm like, wow, that really went well. Or, wow, maybe I talked too much, or, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, So we learn, right? We're creatures of learning and growing. Build friendships. We do that naturally when you're out there networking. One of my closest friends, 2 of them here in Arizona, one's from a board and one is from networking. And we really don't refer to one another. We just connected and we get along well. And we trade information, right, about events and things going on. So there's always an opportunity. And I want to pause because I want to tell you something I read on LinkedIn recently. I was going through, I don't read everything, but I try to like a lot of people's stuff. And somebody wrote on LinkedIn that you should come in very strategic with your networking. I don't believe that. I believe that you have to have some strategy. Like maybe you want to meet with social workers. Maybe you want to meet with owners. Maybe you want to meet with people who could be potential speakers, which I do a lot for Elderwerks because we do education. But I find that no matter who I meet, anybody who wants to meet with me, I get something out of it, or I hope they got something out of it. So I didn't really agree with that. But obviously, at some point, you have to have strategy in what you're doing, of course. But I just feel like everyone you get something from. Be vulnerable, be open. I am. I used to 20 years ago, well, no, probably like 14, 13 years ago when I first started in business, because I was always a staff nurse. So when I became a CEO and this, I used to be a little bit more guarded, like, because I was afraid, like, can I share who I am? Oh no, now I am very open about everything. And when I do presentations on mental illness, on the gifts of grief, I will share parts of my story of who I am. I'm not afraid of that. If you are at the top and you are a CEO, you cannot be going to your team talking to them about your issues or concerns or other professionals, et cetera, like on your team. Find someone to talk to. It is lonely at the top at times. I will tell you that it is. But I do have all the people that I can talk to and vent to and my trusted sources outside of your business. Because you always want to keep your business thriving and happy and problem solving. You don't want it to become toxic. Know when someone else on the team is a better fit. Do not ask me to be in charge of doing all of the technology stuff. That is not me. I am a people person. Put me in front of people. Connect me with people. That's where I thrive, educating people. And Kristen's really good at that too. But Kristen on our team, she thrives and she's great in the technology part. She could figure things out real quick. Right before we started the call, we were talking about another platform you can use, which is Barnyard. Did I say that right? Barnyard? But no.
StreamYard.
Care if I
Very
make
close,
mistakes.
very close.
The StreamYard's a cool thing where you can interview people. We used it. It was effective. It wasn't as effective as we thought it was going to be. So we're actually going to go back to Zoom when we interview people. But anyways, volunteer for a not-for-profit. Learn from other mentors. Be there. Be in the space. Listen to what people are saying. And never put your title above anyone. I will sweep the floor. Ask at our conferences. I've only been at one for Elderwerks because I'm the new CEO. But I'm like, put me to work. What do you need me to do? You want me to stand at the registration table? Whatever you need. That's what I'm here for. You should always ask other people when you're networking how you can help them. What are their pain points? This is an important one, especially when you do something very unique out there, or you get a lot of objections. Maybe you're in the private pay space, and I'm thinking about healthcare again. Sorry, it's my background, so I'm gonna always go there. So I'll ask when I meet with someone, tell me a little bit about your community. What kind of things are always a frustration for you? What do you need help with? How can I, you need help educating your nurses? Great, we can come in and do that. Or I want to get maybe the person is telling you, people don't understand what I do. I want to do an education on it. Great, let's have you present. Or maybe you're finding out there's a daughter or son at the community, going back to a community, that is calling constantly because they're worried about mom or dad and they live long distance. Okay, I can help you with that. This is, one of my things, one of my fits is bringing in resources and helping people with that. Ask people questions till you understand their business. I have had many people get on calls with me and they're trying to sell me immediately. I'm like, we didn't develop any rapport, relationship talking, and I don't even understand their business because they went over the business like within a minute. Now, of course, when we get to do our elevator pitch, that means when you get to go up in front of 20 people and just say who you are in 20 seconds, you don't really get to understand the business. But when you're on a networking meeting, you want to understand what their business is so that you can refer or help them. Be honest about what your needs are. There is nothing wrong with asking for the ask. Like, I'm looking for referrals. Is there anyone else you could connect me to that can help me find people that I can assist with? Example, senior housing. Is there anyone you could connect me to that's a speaker? don't be afraid to say what you're on the meeting with them for. I just met with somebody recently. They're the regional director of AARP, and I was looking for speakers for conferences that I'm doing. And they're like, yeah, I could do that. Not a problem. I just need my flight paid for. Actually, we can't even charge for the speaking engagement. She's an attorney and she's real high up there. And I was like, great, because that was my ask. I was looking for her to be a speaker for us in Arizona, actually. Make sure you try to touch base with people a couple of times. Sometimes I need to meet with someone a couple of times to really understand their business model if it's unique. Don't go in with an agenda. Sure, you have in your mind what your ask is going to be, possibly. A lot of times I go in and I don't even look at what the person does before I meet with them because I want to be surprised and I want to be like a think tank and how do we network and work together. Obviously, if I'm going in and it's a strategy session, like a planning meeting, that's different. But networking, you should go in with open eyes and open heart. Tell your story. Very important. I just saw, I'm sorry, I'm picking on people on our team, but Barbara Rosenberg, I actually put it in my notes. It was such a beautiful story she put on Facebook about why she got into senior housing like 40 years ago. And it all had to do with her grandparents. I don't remember the whole story, Barbara, but it resonated with me. So really important. Let other people be the star. I'm a talker. We have 9 more minutes, so I want to make sure we get to our time to go into our breakout rooms too. So let the other person talk. Let the other person shine, especially if you're meeting with someone, and I have a slide on introverts. If you feel or sense that person might be a little bit more shy, maybe they're intimidated, maybe they're just not as much a talker, let them shine, let them talk. Ask some questions to pull some information out. Be yourself, be approachable. I'm so approachable. I think it's because I'm a nurse. People come up to me at the store and stop me for a half hour about their divorce or their parents. I mean, I never say I'm a nurse or anything like that. They just start talking to me or they start telling me about how troubled they are right now. Again, being an empath too, I've learned where to protect, but people do feel that openness and that vulnerability. Fake it till you make it. What does that mean? Maybe you go into a room, maybe you feel like you're an outlier. I went to an event recently. It was all realtors. I'm like, I don't know if this is a great opportunity for networking for me, but I'm going to go and I'm going to talk because I met these 2 great people and I really like them. And they were all talking about realty, realtors were talking about like commercial real estate, residential, banking, but I actually ended up doing a presentation for them on what I do in care management part, like 2 or 3 meetings in. And then a lot of people are asking questions because I was the only one in the room that was healthcare. So it could be a great opportunity. So I didn't fake it like, oh, I know about real estate. I just listened to everyone and I made sure people knew I don't have your background. I'm very different. This is what I do. But like the fake it part is I walked in going, I don't know if I belong here, right? Maybe you're younger and you go into a room and everybody's my age or older and you're feeling like intimidated. So fake it till you make it. Present who you are, even if you're a little nervous about it. And it'll get more easier. It'll get easier as you do this networking thing over and over. Make sure you follow up. I'm bad at this. I tell people, hey, I know someone I can connect you to. I've been much better now. I write it in my notes section in my phone, and then it's a growing list, and then I reach back out. But I used to be terrible. Like someone, I'd say, after this meeting, I'm going to connect you with this person, or let me do this or that for you. And I would forget because I would get so busy. That doesn't really look good. So put the deadline on your calendar. Or like me, I have a growing list of notes in my iPhone and I erase them. I like crossing off to-dos as I go along. Let's see how many minutes we have. 6 more minutes, but we could go early too. I really like these new business cards that have the QR code on it. So they can just with your phone do the QR code and then all your information comes up and they can save it. Now, when I've done that with other people, I have to make sure I write something in there to remember them by. Because then I'm like, what's their name? I did the QR code business card with them, but I can't remember their name to contact them. So if you're doing that, like me, make sure you put something in there that you'll remember the person by. So like I was telling you about the microphone and karaoke, maybe you'd write under my name, Jean likes to do karaoke. So I'm going to write that in my note because it's really hard. I was trying to find somebody in my phone recently. And I went through all my emails, everything. I couldn't. I mean, it was one of those times where I did the QR code. But I do like those business cards. We're thinking about doing that. I'd love to hear if anybody's interested in that with our directory this year, having some that are on a QR code so you can look up all the resources. I don't like paper anymore. Stand up by branding. We talked about that, the microphone. Remember, we're all human. No need to be intimidated. Like I forgot the name of StreamYard. Probably said it again wrong. Anyways,
No, you
care,
got
whatever.
it. You got it. You
I
got
got
it.
it. So, be open. Be willing to make mistakes. Be willing to fall down sometimes. It's fine. On our team, it is a team of how do we figure out how to do things better? Let's talk it through. I always tell people there is no reason to be upset unless it hurt a patient. And in the elder work side of things, there isn't anything that's going to hurt a patient, right? So and I'm used to being in the ICU or at the hospital with people. So everything can be fixed. There is no reason to be upset about something. When I first came on board, I remember somebody said, oh my God, I forgot to register something for one of the educations. I'm like, whatever, let's just do it right now. Let's figure it out. No big deal. Send personalized letters. Linda, you said something important earlier. Remember birthdays. We do that at Elderwerks. We do send a card. Actually, Kristen is the one that gathers all that information. I got a card in the mail. I was like, oh, how nice, So remember those things. People's birthdays are important. Respect the culture of the person. Just because we all live here in the US doesn't mean we're all from the same cultural fabric. So if they tell you something about their culture, make sure you respect it or honor it or ask the right questions to do so. Mentoring, very big. Pete Miska talked a lot about mentoring when we interviewed him. And I think it was Barbara Rosenberg that just talked about mentoring earlier, or it might have been you, Linda Kanicki. Now I'm going to stop for a minute. I've got some other things on here. Does anybody want to jump in? I like that.
Really quickly, Jean, we do have a question.
Great.
Lillian was wondering if we'll be sharing the PowerPoint.
Yes, I love to share the PowerPoints with people.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Who
cool.
was asking?
Lillian Moran. So
Nice.
either myself or Jean will kind of send it out to everyone. So we'll get that to you guys by the end of the day. I just wanted to
Absolutely. And we'd be happy to repeat this if you want it, or you can use the information and use it within your own networks but we'd be happy to repeat it too. Probably a number of us on the Elderworks team could give a great presentation on this, probably better than me. So because they are in sales, I've never been in sales. That's why, again, my husband thought it was so weird and interesting how I do networking. And he said, you should share this information. So when you're doing in-person networking, my goal when I go into a room, I'll be honest with you, sometimes it's my first time there and I'm observing more and I'm going to talk to people, but always try to meet with 3 or 4 people, get their business card and set up a meeting after. That's my goal when I go in a room. But my first time in the room, I might only get 1 business card, but you're going to go back to that event 2, 3 times because I want to feel out the audience. Who are they? What resonates with them? And that real estate group that I told you about that I joined, I actually became a member. They're really fun. One of the things they did in their networking session when we went around, and everybody knows maybe you don't, the elevator pitch is your 60 seconds to say who you are, what you do. And please be respectful of that. I see people go on and on and on, and everybody else is looking at you like, wow, that's disrespectful. There's 30 more people in the room. But they said, sing a lyric from your favorite song. And it was right after I presented on what I did. And I was like, oh, this is fun because, the little karaoke part of me. So that was fun. Join networking groups after you visit. If somebody invites you, go. Even if you don't think it's a good fit or the right fit, they respect you enough to invite you. And when you invite somebody, that's an extension of who you are also. I do have on here, be strategic and intentional. It depends. Like I said, I go in with an open heart and open mind, but there are times where I might go to a session. Example, a lot of attorneys refer to care managers. I might go into a room and we have some networking in Illinois where we go into rooms full of attorneys. So I might go, I want to look for all estate planning attorneys and elder care attorneys, right? They work with seniors mostly. So that I am being strategic. I do want to meet them if I can. So when they do their 60-second elevator pitch, I'm going to listen who that is. Look professional always. We all know the joke, like on Zoom, right? I actually have nice pants on, but a lot of people will have a nice shirt on. And underneath, it doesn't matter if there's my timer. It doesn't matter what you're wearing underneath. Just make sure if you're on Zoom, you're professional from here up. Icebreakers. Be open to feedback. I'm very, very, very open to feedback. Don't give me feedback in front of a room full of people. Just do it one-on-one. Like, hey, I just got feedback. I did a presentation and somebody said I should have had a decision tree on it. And it was a presentation separate from this. Oh, somebody's trying to come in now. You're going to come in just in time for the networking, which is exciting, I think. But they said I should have had a decision tree. So here's some icebreakers, especially for introverts. What are you doing this upcoming holiday? Tell me about your business. So as an introvert, you might want to have things written down that you want to say to somebody. If it's quiet, I will tell you most of the time at a meeting with me, it's not quiet. But here's some icebreakers for you. Help one another. Be a connector to other people. It's very important. Like and follow other people's pages. Now we're getting into social media. And I'll go through some of these slides now quicker. This could probably go for an hour and a half, obviously. How do you solve an issue? I needed help with this technology thing recently with dementia reality. And I met somebody from Barrington who worked in Silicon Valley. And she had a brother-in-law who got on a call with us to figure out this glitch that we're having with Meta right now. So help one another. Very important. Find your power partners. That's important. There's a group that we're in a power partner network in Illinois, and we try to refer to one another. We do speaking engagements with one another. But I believe in working with everyone and anyone. But it is good to have, I'm saying, to have your people that you work with all the time.